Widespread storms are expected later today, so let's get straight into this here. For right now, all we really have is just a few showers off to the southwest, right here in Bosque County, headed towards Hill County, one headed over towards Stephenville. This is definitely not the round of severe storms that we will see later today. This is just taking care of the very, very rich moisture in the atmosphere. Very high dew points today, and you're going to feel that in addition to those warm temperatures. Now, we're nowhere close to that record in 2005, so that's a good thing. 99 degrees in 2005, both in DFW and Waco. Normal temperature is 86, and we will be closer to that today, 88, 89 degrees for your highs. Still fairly warm out there, and that will still push heat index values pretty high as we get into the afternoon hours because the humidity is so incredibly high. And then overnight tonight, we're above the normal low of 71, 72 degrees. The normal low, of course, being 66, but our temperatures will be in the low 70s. And then the only thing that's not really in the severe range today, or the higher range at least, is your allergens. So just medium today, and we'll take that. It's May. We are getting into the summer period when those allergens will start to subside a little bit, but they are still fairly plentiful in the atmosphere today. So let's get straight into the storms that we have for today. We have the dry line off to the west and a cold front off to the north. Both of these will be creating storms today. It's going to be a 1-2 punch. So we already have the storms in Oklahoma and Arkansas there. A few of those already severe. Those little showers here, and then the dry line is farther off to the west. So as we go through the latter part of the day here, really actually, I'll time it out in a little bit, but really all afternoon, we could be looking at storms in our area. We'll be watching to see how things go. The storms firing to our north and moving southeast, and then storms to our west moving eastward as the dry line fires those off as well. So we are definitely looking at a chance of severe weather today. We've got the cold front, we've got the dry line, we've got very high humidity, very unstable air. All the ingredients are in place, and we could see some supercell thunderstorms. So the biggest threat today is going to be large hail. There's so much lift out there. Those very strong updrafts could create some very large hailstones. We could see some strong winds out of those storms as well, some of those downbursts and those kinds of things. There is a chance we could see a couple of tornadoes today. And then flooding is actually one of the higher risks today as well. So we have the enhanced risk of severe storms today. That's where we're at. The low chance of tornadoes, it's low. I don't expect more than maybe a couple. We may not see any, but with the way that the updrafts are going today, I won't be surprised to see some stronger storms. Damaging wind, about a moderate risk. I have the high risk of hail here. Doesn't mean that every storm is going to be dropping baseball-sized hail, but I think we will see a few that have some fairly large hailstones. And then low flooding risk. I don't expect a lot of widespread flash flooding today, but the ground is very saturated, and we know that, and that's why we have that flood watch here that goes into effect at 10 a.m. today and goes until 1 a.m. on Friday. So that will accommodate both days. We have more showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow. Looks like a lower severe risk as well as lower coverage, but either way, we could see 1 to 3 inches of rain between now and early Friday morning. And hey, we could even see 4 to 5 inches in some isolated areas. So plenty of rain across our area. So let's time out what we're looking at. Noon today, we should start to see thunderstorms developing off to our northwest, and then as we get later in the afternoon, we'll start to see them blow up along the dry line here. Now, this is 2 o'clock. This is showing the storms fairly far away. I'm a little skeptical that it's going to be this slow moving. They could be, but I think you need to be ready for storms by the time we get to about 3 o'clock or so. I think that we could be seeing the first storms in our area. Now, 4 o'clock here, again, I think that this might be a little bit conservative as far as what we're going to see. You do see a few developing here, but I do think that we could have more storms in our area at that time. Again, this is not an exact science, right? I'm thinking that this should push this along. The HR model has been kind of slowing things down over the last couple of runs, but I think it's reasonable to expect that by 6 o'clock, certainly, we will have strong to severe thunderstorms across our area here. 8 o'clock, it has this kind of squall line developing off to the west, coming off of the dry line, and that's very possible. So that could increase our wind risk as we get into the evening hours. Again, This is not an exact science. This is not saying it's going to be exactly in that location, but it does seem to think that some of these stronger storms could congeal into a line, so we'll be watching that for you. And then by 10 o'clock, most of this should be off to the southeast. We should be getting rid of this by that point. I think by midnight we're done. And then over the course of tomorrow, we could see more showers and thunderstorms really most of the day here, mostly tomorrow afternoon. But there will be a disturbance coming through that could give us showers and thunderstorms really throughout the day. It could be kind of off and on showers, but we'll get to that when we get there. So let's take a look at the forecast overall here. 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms later today. I think the vast majority of us get at least something later today. We'll be warm, we'll be breezy today. Tonight, 71. Tomorrow, though, 60 degrees, we should be 60 degrees, 60% chance of storms there, because I've lowered that a little bit. It looks like tomorrow's coverage is a little underwhelming maybe than what we thought it was going to be, but I've got it in the middle of the day here. So I do think that we will be looking at showers and storms possible throughout the day. Severe weather is possible again, though it doesn't look as organized. Looks like mostly north of us tomorrow, so we'll continue to watch that today. 85 for your high, so a little bit cooler. 73 overnight. Back in the 90s for the weekend, both Friday and Saturday, I think we see just a chance of storms in the afternoon. Think of your kind of summertime pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. That's really what we're looking at. I don't think everybody gets wet, but a couple of us could get a heavy thunderstorm or two. Some of those storms bring gusty winds, so just be ready for that too. And then as we get into the latter part of the weekend into the next week, we are warming up again. Could be in the mid-90s Sunday, low 90s for Memorial Day, and then Tuesday actually looks a little bit cooler. I'm going to see if that pattern holds. I'm not too confident with that right now, but we'll see if we can hold on to those cooler temperatures for next week. So stay tuned to South Metro weather throughout the day today. Again, it's right around 9:45 as I'm filming this right now. You're probably watching closer to 10 or so. I think by noon we see storms popping up to our northwest. By 2-3 o'clock, probably moving into our area, could persist into, I would say, into the nighttime hours, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Probably at least done by midnight, if not a little earlier. So stay tuned to South Metro weather for coverage of those severe storms.